Salam guys, welcome again to Raz YouTubes. Today I have some extremely exciting news. You know, I've always wanted to give something back to society in a way, and I thought what better than giving some advice, right? So I decided, why not make a series on something that everybody loves? And I know this topic will interest many people. Marriage. I mean, marriage is becoming more and more difficult, and I have no idea why. It seems like we're bringing up so many complicated, stupid, silly things that we're just making life more difficult for ourselves. And part of the reason is because probably we're really not that ready as we think we are. So this is going to be the first video in a series of videos called My Big Fat Muslim Wedding. This was actually my wedding suit. Still fits pretty good, huh? Looking good, man. Looking good. So what's it going to be about? Well, I'm going to try and keep it gender neutral, and whilst also aiming at those trying to get married, I'm going to try and aim it at the parents as well. So you know what? You can watch these videos with your parents, sit down and take it in. But here are a few cautionary points to take on board. I'm not a scholar, I'm not that knowledgeable, but I do have a little bit of experience. And I'm definitely not saying I know the answers, or I have all the answers. But I guess this opens up a platform for thinking and discussion, which I think is really important in something as big and as important as this. So I'm going to take you through the practical elements of this process we call marriage, with a little bit of a Muslim twist. So, my first episode, are you ready? Are you really ready to get married? I mean, really ready. Like, totally. And I'm not talking about satisfying those hormonal desires and things. Keep that to yourself, please. But I'm talking about getting ready in the right sense. Are you really the man or woman you want to be before you step out there into the world? Something to think about. And I'm not talking about being ready in the romantic sense either. Yeah, you might have memorized all of Shah Rukh Khan's dialogues. That does not make you a great husband, right? No. And if you think marriage is anything like the movies, then you're in for a big surprise. Because where the movies stop, marriage starts. And that is the difficulty. You see, marriage isn't going to be this big Bollywood film filled with sparks for the rest of your life. No. Come on, guys. I mean, what? It's definitely more complicated than that. Now, we know that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said that marriage is half your deen, right? That's half your religion. Yeah, great. And it's so easy to pick up lines like, hey babe, wanna complete half my religion? Without actually thinking what it means. Let's take a step back here. Half your religion. Have you even thought about the other half? How difficult is the other half? I mean, you've got Hajj, you've got Umrah, you've got charity, you've got Sadaqah, you've got Ramadan, you've got Salah. I mean, it's what? And marriage balances it on that scale. It's half, right? So it's never going to be easy. It's going to involve as much effort as the other half. In absolutely every single way. So don't just jump into it, driven by your hormones. Calm down, bruh. And sis, have you got the mental and physical maturity to jump into it? Well, obviously you have the physical maturity. I don't know what I meant by that. But let's put it this way. Right now, you're your own master, right? You go to work, you go to school, you go to uni, whatever. You come back home, you bum around, you lounge, you watch TV, you browse the internet, you browse your phone. You're your own master. You can do whatever you want. But after marriage, it isn't just you. You have this other person waiting for you at home, ready to invade your personal space. Yeah, your personal space. That includes sharing the same bathroom, sharing the same bed, sharing the same house in every possible way. So are you ready to have your personal space, that comfort zone, that sanctity, invaded, completely dominated? I mean, how can you ever fart in peace in your bed again without killing someone? Okay, it's not really that bad. It's great. You're coming home to someone you love, essentially. While the first 1 or 2 years of marriage are incredible and you're getting to know the person, after a while, the little things start showing up. And that's when you start getting irritated by the little things. Why did he do this? Why did she do that? Are you ready for that? And here you gotta beg the question, do you really know what you want? Like really from inside? Do you know what sort of woman or man you want? What sort of personality traits you're looking for? And that's probably going to be the topic of my next YouTube topic, but it's worth thinking about it because you cannot jump into the whole process without having some idea of what you're looking for. So the whole thing is about knowing yourself before you start to get to know somebody else. But perhaps the biggest thing that I could advise anyone before they jump into the whole spectacle of marriage is educating yourself on rights and responsibilities. Now look, everyone has different opinions, everyone has different outlooks and views. I'm not going to try and be a scholar here, but I'm just going to give you practical advice. If you do not know anything about gender roles and equality before going into a marriage, educate yourself. Educate yourself. And I'm going to say it one more time. Educate yourself. If you've come specifically from South Asian or Arab background, we tend to be very patriarchal. There's a lot of culture mixed in with religion, and that's a big problem. And in particular for men, because women get the hard end of this, you are not marrying a second mother. Yeah? You are not marrying a second mother. As weird and icky as that sounds. You are marrying a partner. So learn to act like one. The problem is most men are grown up to be babies. They've always been looked after as kings, as princes, whereas daughters, when they've grown up, they've sort of been made to do all the remedial tasks, the looking after, as if they've been relegated to nothing else but that. No, not at all. A man's role is clear and a woman's role is clear. And they're not definitely above one another. They're actually side by side in every way possible. If you're marrying a spouse so that you can mold them to what you want, then you're making a big mistake. And if you're marrying someone to impose your weird and unfair views, then again, step back. And this is where you really have to look at parents. Yes, I'm looking at you parents. Parents, just because you've done something and accepted something your entire life does not make it right. There are people's lives at stake here. People who live in unhappy marriages because what you've taught your children and the sort of mindset that they grow up in and expect. Simple things like in-laws, right? In-laws can make things easy or they can make things difficult, especially for the girl, unfortunately. Why is it that when a girl is marrying a man, she's marrying the whole family? When men are raised, they should be raised to look after their own parents. Why is it that when the girl gets married, that she's the one who has to serve his parents? Or why is it that when the girl gets married, her earning has to contribute to his parents' household? Why? Have we regressed so far back that we've actually predated Prophet Muhammad ﷺ? 1400 years ago, he told us the rights of women. And he told us that they're allowed to earn whatever they're allowed to earn, right? And we're not allowed anything from that. Why do we think we have a right over our wives' money? It's your duty as a man to provide for the family. And if she wants to give something out of her own heart, that's great and fine. Our parents need to raise both men and women who are capable in absolutely every single way, so they don't have to rely on anybody else. Do you know how to cook? Do you know how to clean? Do you know how to do your laundry? These are important daily life survival things that every man should be able to do and not entirely expect it of their wives. I mean, come on guys, we cannot be those annoying spoiled brats anymore. We have to grow up. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ used to sew his own clothes. He used to do his own chores. Where are we now? Are we really regressing as a male species that we cannot put our own dirty laundry in the laundry box? Oh, and don't even get me started on washing all of that, right? I mean, that's like, wow, not happening. In my case, my wife does it for me, and I'm grateful for that. And she does it because she does it out of her love. And I don't ask her of that. We cannot expect our spouses to do things which was never their duty to do in the first place. So, parents, we need to stop raising up spoiled brats. We need to get our sons to get their act together and do things themselves with their own hands. Get their hands dirty. Be a man. And of course the same applies for women. You're not marrying a guy who's like your father, right? He doesn't see you in the same light. When you have someone who's on the same sort of platform, there tends to be a lot more conflict than when you have a parent-son, parent-daughter relationship. So it applies both ways, right? If you're going to get married, you have to expect that there's going to be some sort of conflict, there's going to be some sort of compromise in big ways and in small ways. I mean, guys, forget playing the PlayStation all night long. That's out, that's gone. Man, damn. And here's another thing for both guys and girls. Forget hanging out with your friends as much as you used to before, because it's all about to change. Have you really done everything in life that you want to do? Have you achieved everything you want to achieve? Maybe not. As humans, we tend to have so many dreams, so many aspirations. I don't think we could ever achieve what we want to achieve in one lifetime. But I guess there are certain things that don't particularly lend themselves to marriage that you might want to do before. So just make sure you've got that set, right? And you've got that done and out the way completely. Because the last thing you want is to get married and think, man, I should have so done that before I got married. But then again, there are people whose dreams and ambitions involve their spouse the entire way. So, yeah, but don't just get married because it's the obvious next stage in life, or because of parental pressure, or because of pressure from anybody else. From experience, when you fall into something from pressure, things don't always quite turn out well. Look, at the end of the day, I'm not trying to put you guys off. Marriage is a beautiful, beautiful thing, and it's a great celebration of love between two people. And especially when you have kids, that love is just complete. So you have to ask yourself, are you really ready to make the sacrifices needed for a successful marriage? And trust me, there are a lot of sacrifices. A lot of sacrifices. But it's a big decision. It's a serious thing. And before you go out to search, know in your heart that you are ready. I know some of you guys have probably already bought your wedding suit, right? Huh? Yeah, probably. That doesn't mean you're ready. But you know, there's only a certain level of readiness you can achieve. You can be as mentally, emotionally, psychologically ready as you want and as you can possibly attain. But at the end, you learn so much more once you're actually in that situation. So don't worry if you're not 100% ready. That's normal. And unfortunately for us, there is no simulation or some sort of practice marriage you can have to get ready. Yeah, sure, you can learn from experience and you can speak to people who are already married, and that's the best way to do it. So this is just my tiny pearls of wisdom, if you will. Hey, I know I'm not perfect and I have a lot to learn. Oh, trust me, I have a lot to learn. I'm definitely not one here to stand and say, oh, look at me, I'm so good. No, absolutely not. But these are just points of reflection that I encountered myself, which actually helped me become a better person, a better husband. So yeah, go to a course, speak to a scholar, speak to someone who knows. So when you enter a marriage contract, you enter in the best possible way you can. I mean, in some countries like Malaysia, some places make it compulsory to learn the rights and regulations and all the laws around marriage, which I think is fantastic. It's great. More and more marriages are ending up on the rocks with so many complicated scenarios and so many complicated situations. And so much of that is because we were simply not taught how to do a marriage right and how to give your spouse the due respect that they deserve. To be selfless. Are you ready to be selfless? To lose yourself? So many of us are just so egocentric, so self-centered, that we enter a marriage thinking about ourselves alone and how the marriage will contribute to our own well-being and to our own physical and emotional needs. But what about the other? So are you ready to really give all you can to somebody else? And you know, we try so much our entire lives to look the best we can, to hide our faults, to show our best side, to show our best qualities. And now all of a sudden we've got someone entering our life who has the ability to see us at our worst and our best. Are you ready to let your guard down? Because getting married tests you on so many levels. It tests you for qualities that you never knew you had. So not only does your partner physically complete you in the sense that, yes, they are there by your side to share the same interests and help work towards one goal. And hopefully for us, that's paradise. But actually, our spouses bring out qualities that otherwise would never be brought out. And we have to be grateful for that. So once you're ready from that front, now you're ready to do the next part of the whole marriage process. Yeah, the search. The search for a spouse, of course. And the good news is that happens to be the next video of this series. So keep an eye open. For now, this is Raz signing off. Thanks for watching Raz YouTubes.